So this is the perception that I have of the role of the educator being only for the bravest of the brave. So I tossed it in to see how people will respond to this and to help them think a bit about what could I be meaning when I say this, and to help them kind of grapple with this notion which probably they had not come across earlier. So it was to draw them into the conversation on what is the role of the educator. Um, then I think I also tried to communicate in the process that we are now in a time when we have moved away from the single right answer to the multiple right answers. This is again a reality which has got inverted. So thinking requires that we have multiple right answers. And while this seems rather obvious and easy, I also led through some examples to uh, for them to understand that while we would like to be creative human beings, we are not participating in the solutions that we find for our own lives. A simple example, a toothbrush rack. We have only purchased things. We don't purchase artifacts which we use in our homes. We don't create some things with our hand. We are terribly scared how this creativity is curtailed again by the market forces and the glossy finished products, is that we feel bad to create something or to do something which is not so finished, which is not so beautiful, which is a little rough edged, even though it has the signature and the stamp of our being. So I help them understand that one of the problems in our society is that we are not turning out people who are going to create solutions, but they seem to be more conforming to the existing mechanisms. And the solutions seem to be only in certain areas, but not in our, that we are not taking charge of our life space. And our education doesn't seem to prepare people to take charge of their life space and to make real choices. So this was the second element that we explored, because we would like to kind of, it's one thing to just also kind of point out the kind of big challenge in education. It's easy to say let's have sustainable education, let's give all the importance for ecology and understanding of nature, understanding of food, but is it a lifestyle choice one is willing to make? And I think that is a very critical issue, to value how do we value human beings? How do we value somebody whom we are educating? Is it for their effort, and is it for their being, or is it only for the things that they manage to produce? Again, the end result. If somebody can't produce the result which I would like to see, then I don't value the human being. So I think this led to questions about how we value things and how we devalue things, and to also kind of look a little further at the fact that we are part of this society, and therefore some of these or many of these things are in our system, in our thinking, in our unconscious or conscious even. And I think lastly, kind of also with that film Century of the Self, helping them understand how the world is not going in this direction by accident. It's a very carefully orchestrated direction of big business, the way governments are functioning, everything. And to understand that the problem of a change or a difference is not that easy. Because I think often we think that fixing a few small things will fix it. But I think the fact that education actually is not only about educators, it's about any adult who cares for children, who cares for the next generation, who communicates with other people. So what do we want to communicate? What do we think is significant? And are we rooted in that significance even if others are not going to support it or value it? So I think it was this area where we kind of held our conversation. Um, Many of them have children of their own, and I think they were often speaking with reference to their own child. And I also try to draw the conversation away from there a little bit to say that children are like other children, large numbers of children. One of the most wonderful things about working in a school is that you work with children who are not yours biologically, and yet you work with them with the same care and the same affection, the same concern, and that you would with your own child. But and that school as an institution has a very important role in this, and that schools are atmospheres. I try to communicate that.